Kicking it with KeKe. Kicking it with KeKe. Kicking it with KeKe. Full of personality. Switching up the storyline on God, we making history.
Writing books, changing lives, one day at a time. Put your problems to the side. Enjoy yourself. Free your mind.
Kicking it with KeKe.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Kicking It with KeKe, Life, Love, and all that other shit. I am your host, author KeKe Chanel. I'm also a lifestyle blogger and certified mindset and personal growth coach. The overall theme for Kicking It with KeKe podcast is all about personal development and mindset. When we operate as our highest self, we go through life more abundantly, more happy, more fulfilled, and not just existing, we live. So with that being said, y'all know how I like to do. I like to give my guests the opportunity to introduce themselves. And I am joined with a kindred spirit today. I can't wait for y'all to find out all the stuff we have in common. So tell the people who you are and what you do. And thank you for coming to kick it with me today.
I am so honored to be on your show today. Oh my God, you just don't know.
Yes.
KeKe, you have been my inspiration since we met. We've been vibing. And for those of you who do not know me, my name is Lacole Smith. I'm an author. I'm a life coach. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a mother. I'm a wife. I have a nonprofit. The list goes on and on. Just I'm just being me. Just want to
Listen,
just do a couple of things for some people and help bring them up with me. That's all I'm trying to do.
I love it. I love it. That's a great resume. That is a great resume. And I felt some familiarity to some of that stuff that she was saying. And I know I probably messed that word up, but don't y'all come for me. Sometimes I get a little tongue tied, but that's all right. We authors, life coaches, we both have shows. And the one thing that drew us to each other was the color purple.
Color purple, baby. Color purple.
I was hosting an event for the Legend Award honorees for this year, and Miss Lacole is one of the honorees, so congratulations. But anyway, I was there doing live interviews, and I had my purple mic, and this woman smiling and stuff came up to do an interview, and we just kind of like looked at each other, smiled, and the rest is history. Like we started talking and connected. And like you said, been vibing ever since. I was just on your show a couple of weeks ago, and we had an amazing time. Now you're on my show. So thank you again for coming to kick with me. So before we get into all things KeKe and Lacole, I always ask my guests these two questions because the overall theme for the podcast is all about mindset and personal development. When you think of the words, mindset and personal development, how does that resonate with you? Or what do you think about it? What would be your definitions of the two?
Well, it took me a minute to actually understand the change in a mindset. Because a lot of people feel like mindset is all about just your mind.
Right.
That is your mind, body, spirit, and your soul.
Mm-hmm.
You have to dig deep. You have to understand you before you can help anybody else. So when you go into the mindset part of it, you just have to dig deep. You have to understand who you are, what you're doing, and why you're doing it. The biggest thing is your why. So with the mindset, that's a powerful word.
Yeah.
And a lot of people misinterpret it. A lot of people just mess over it. And a lot of people abuse it because they'll trick you into saying, oh, I got this going on. And you really don't have that going on because they have tapped into your mindset and changed your mindset from where it was.
Mm-hmm.
So your mindset has to be strong. And then the personal development, again, that comes with self, self-love, self-care, um, personal love, personal care, which are to me are different because
Mm.
I can self-love myself. I can self-love somebody that's around me. But personal love is all about you. It's all about just you and building up yourself, um,
Mm.
and making yourself stronger and more positive, you know, eliminating all that negativity. So it took me a while to get where I'm at, but when I got it, I got it.
Hey, I'm glad you did, because I like how you just broke that down. And I like what you said about people can get into your mindset and have you change your mindset, because most people adapt to what they're around. You become a
Exactly.
product of what you are feeding yourself, what you're absorbing. So if your mind is not strong, you can fall victim to other people's mindset or beliefs or thoughts. I'm a product of some of my mama and daddies and grandparents and ancestors' beliefs or traditions and things like that. And once I decided to tap into a different mindset and a way of thinking to better myself and my situation for my family,
Yes.
I let go of a lot of false traditions, I call them, because what makes a tradition? Your family just repeats it over and over and over. You can break traditions and form healthy habits, I like to call them.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for talking about mindset and personal development, because I feel like it's not talked about enough. But
It's
right.
not.
But within the last year, and I want to ask you this question, have you noticed that the word mindset has become like more talked about? Because over the past 5 years, I should say, I don't remember seeing or hearing about the word mindset too much. I mean, I knew what it was because I'm certified in mindset as far as life coaching is concerned. But now I'm like, okay, here we go. People ready. Let's go. But what do you think happened?
COVID.
Mm,
COVID happened, and a lot of people had to sit still. They had to learn how to adapt. They
mm,
had to learn how to be quiet because when you're in your house and you have nothing but house and nothing but space and no, you know, nobody around you because some people were still going to work and you might have been just sitting there with
mm-hmm,
nothing to do. You know, you don't watch TV till you can't watch it anymore. You know, listen to the radio. You done heard all the songs on there, and you just have to sit in your personal space and think.
mm-hmm,
And I think with all of that, a lot of people became entrepreneurs. A
mm-hmm,
lot of people tapped into things that they never thought that they were able to do. A lot of people started to get self love because they started doing stuff for themselves, their hair, their
mm-hmm,
nails. They were cooking for themselves. They weren't going out to eat because you had to be in the house. So a lot of people evolved from COVID, even though it was so drastic on the outside. But if you're on the inside looking out, you cleanse yourself from the inside out. So
mm-hmm,
you all of that stuff that was negative, all that bad stuff that you just thought you couldn't fester anymore. And you start pouring into the stuff that you can tap into,
mm-hmm,
and people start learning about their mindset. So they start learning that, oh, this is a change. And then they start paying attention to people like you and I that was
mm-hmm,
saying, this is how you do XYZ. This is how
mm-hmm.
you do that. And they started learning about mindset. So now everybody's trying to talk about it. But when we were trying to start talking about it a couple years ago, they didn't want to listen to us.
You know
So
what? I just take that as they wasn't ready yet.
it wasn't time.
It wasn't time. Yep.
It wasn't time.
All right, so we're gonna talk about the books first, because I'm an author and she's an author. Okay, so tell the people what type of books you write. How did you get into writing? Like, let's start there. How did you get into writing?
um, well, honestly, in high school I started writing poems. And when I got out of high school, I stopped. And then I started having my kids, and I wrote a poem for each one of my children.
Oh, nice.
So I stopped again. And then I started back to writing poems again because I actually like to write poems better than I like to write a book.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like the poetry side of it. I just like the rhyming of the words.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I started.
Mm-hmm.
But the book came about um, basically from God just pushing me out of my comfort zone.
I
And
love it. And see, that's what I was waiting on you to say, because that's what you told me that night. And I was like, oh, I got goosebumps when you told me that. So yeah,
yeah,
that's what I was waiting on you to say. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah, God he completely pushed me out of my comfort zone, and he got me to the point where I just had to go ahead and do what he wanted me to do. So the book wasn't by choice, but it was by purpose.
Mm,
So
nice.
that's how the book came about.
All right. So tell the people how they can get it, the name of the book, where it's available, and things like that.
So the book name is Leaps of Faith, My Story of Overcoming Fear. And you can get it on Amazon under Lacole Smith, and you can key in the title. You can get it on my website, which is lacolesmith.com. And that's LACOLE, last name Smith, SMITH.com. And those are the platforms that I have it on right now. I'm looking to expand it and start putting it in some bookstores. I have been in touch with them. So um, I, I'm in the process of writing my next book, which is reimagining reality.
Nice.
And it's gonna be putting a positive twist on negative words. So
Oh,
it's gonna be a series. So I'm gonna take negative words that we use on a daily or that we see on a daily and explain why this negative word can be positive and make you
I,
look at it totally different. So that's coming too.
I love that. And see that just we have other things in common, right? Because I have a book called What the L, and it takes 6 L words that we know and use every day and break them down to change your mindset about them. So
Oh,
I love a positive twist on a negative word. I love that. Wow. Okay, guys, we hear that alignment. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah. So when can we expect that out though?
I'm gonna push the date back a little further,
Okay.
um, because I want to dive a little deeper into it,
Mm,
and I think I just touched the surface.
mm.
So I really want to dive into it, and I really want to make people understand why they can use that word positively,
Okay.
and I want to tap into it biblical as well. So I'm gonna tie all of it together and
Nice.
put it out there so that they can understand it's not me, because God got it positive in the Bible as well.
Right.
So
Right.
um
I love it.
just changing up a little something, just changing up a little
Listen, but I love that change though. I love that change. All right, so let's get into life coaching because we both do the life coaching. So how did you get into life coaching, and what type of life coaching do you do?
Okay, so I got into life coaching actually by accident.
Oh, wow.
I was talking to one of my friends, and she's a life coach, and we were just talking, and I was telling her, oh, I helped this person do this one, I helped this person do that, and then she was like, girl, you a life coach? I'm like, I'm not a life coach. I just like talking to people, I just like helping them figure
That's a life
out.
coach.
She said, well, that's a life coach. I said, no, y'all. I said, y'all be getting serious and deep and and putting people on the sofas. And she said, no, that's not me. She
That's
said,
therapy.
she said, no, that's not it. She said, you tried to go too deep.
Uh,
You thinking about it too deep. So, um, and her name is Latanya Bromfield.
okay.
And she kept talking to me, and I was like, I don't know if that's what I want to do. That's not me. That's not logically me. So one day I just woke up and I was like, Latanya, go ahead and put me in that class. I would go ahead.
Nice.
And she was shocked, but she was like, so what are you gonna teach about? because we got to have a direction. We got to have, a source. And I say, well, I want to teach about author coaching. I say, I really want to help people get their stories out there. I really want to, dig deep on that side of it. And she say, well, you can be more than one kind of coach.
Mm-hmm.
Like, girl, leave me alone.
She was right.
So I do grief coaching, I do author coaching, and the big word, I do mindset coaching. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm finna tap into uh emotional coaching.
Mm.
So I needed that for myself.
Right.
So, as I'm going through the process of it, I like what I see.
Nice. I love that. I love that you are exploring all the avenues, because even if you have different niches, you're still a life coach.
You
And
feel like,
so you don't have to box yourself into just one specific genre, so to
yeah,
speak, because I
yeah.
do book coaching as well. And
Okay.
now I just tapped into podcast coaching. So I help people that's ready to start their podcast get the basics that they need to start the podcast. Then I have another course that's called Podcast Like a Pro. So it teaches you how to format your show, conduct interviews, things like that. And then I also coach them on how to create like content, like virtual backgrounds, and to make their podcast content stand out so people will want to tune in and support them.
Exactly.
And I love it. I love it. I love that I'm being obedient. So when God opens doors, I just walk through them. Okay, I'm not even questioning anymore. And I used to be fearful. I used to be afraid and shy away from being in the limelight. And I don't have to be in the limelight, but I'm the face of my brand, so I have to be out there as at least a little bit.
At least a little bit. And
Yeah.
again, we got that in common because that was almost always my thing. Look, I can be behind the scenes. They don't even have to know I did anything.
Mm.
So I can see that we just all up in each other's business.
Yes. Yes. And I love it. And I was going to title the episode something dealing with purple. And we're going to get into purple, why we like purple in a little bit. But I think I'm going to call it, we have something in common. Because we
And
really do. We really do. Like a lot.
we have a whole lot in common.
Right.
So, and it's amazing how God put people in each other's paths without them
Mhm.
knowing why He put you there.
Right.
And He's still fulfilling His destiny of what He wants done. And you have no clue why you even got put in that position. So
Divine connections. That's what I
it's,
call it.
it's amazing how God works and how well He uses His vessels
Hmm.
to produce things that we never thought that we could produce. We never going places we never thought we would go.
Hmm.
Just amazing. Who thought I would have been at the Legend Awards in 2023? So
Right.
I still don't know who nominated me.
Mm. It's all
So
right though. You getting honored. You getting honored this year. The 10th annual
the 10th
Legends
and
Award. I'm
yeah.
so proud of Simone. Shout out to Simone O. Hickenbottom, because we gotta have that O in there. She always say
Oh,
that.
oh.
Shout out to her. She is a visionary, and she is a gentle spirit, very humble person. And I'm so glad that I have a connection with her, which led me to have a connection with you. So I'm enjoying the journey that I'm on. I really am.
Each year her vision just get better and better. I went to, I think it was like the second one,
Mm-hmm.
when she was first getting started,
Mm-hmm.
and just to see how
The
things has
growth. Mm-hmm.
you know, see the growth in her and in her brand and the things that she's doing for the community,
Mm-hmm.
everybody else. She's amazing. Just
She
amazing.
is. She is. And I was supposed to be there last year, and I ended up getting the flu and I couldn't come, and I hated that I missed it. And I was like, Simone, could I just come and just, be there to present? She was like, girl, no, if you don't take care of yourself. But she contacted me like days after and asked me to be the social media correspondent for this one. And I'm so excited about that. I cannot wait. This brings me to Motivational speaker. And I always feel in awe of people that call themselves a motivational speaker because I'm not really a speaker like that. Like I can get into I don't know. I shy away from speaking to crowds, but I know that it's in me. I just gotta once I'm there and I don't overthink it, but just putting that term on myself, it kind of like, let me hold up a minute. How did that come about? How did the motivational speaking come about?
Again, that's another thing that God, just placed in my spirit. I always like to talk. I
Mm-hmm.
always like to, motivate people, and if they're feeling down or they, I'll joke around, try to get them to lively up. So the motivational speaking part of it just came from, God putting me in the right positions at the right time.
Mm.
And most of the time, I do not like to be in front of people. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm a behind the scenes person. Like I said, I like to be behind the scenes. But my motivation in the motivational speaking is to better women and take them to places that they never felt that they could go.
Mm.
Pull
Right.
them out of that wall that they were in, because I've been there. So I understand the hardness it is of just the everyday life, the everyday round and about, thinking that you're not good enough, thinking that you can't do something, having somebody in your ear that's not supportive.
Mm-hmm.
So um I started with just wanting to motivate women. I'm still just motivating women. I haven't combined it yet, even though I know that's something that God wants me to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not there yet. It's time, but it's not my it's
Look,
not
you running. See, look, you gonna help us. We gonna help each other get there because
we're
he
gonna help each
pulling me into the speaking space, but I'm like I'm resisting. Like I have to stop resisting.
other. Yeah. And I like it, but I guess I'm just a humble spirit. I don't like to be upfront and personal. So
Mm-hmm.
just like you say, putting that title on yourself. I know that's what I am. I know that's something that I do. But I'll tell you I'm an author before I tell you I'm a motivational speaker. I'll tell you I'm a mother before I tell you I'm a life coach.
Yeah.
So those are the things that I know I have to put these, like, if I'm on a show, I'll say those things first.
Mm-hmm.
But if you see me in person, I'm like, I'm just I'm just me. I'm just
Yeah.
Lacole.
That's what I
You
say
know,
too. I'm just KeKe. I'm a little small town girl from Greensburg, Louisiana. That's who I am.
exactly. And we have that in common because I'm from Ethel. Like,
Yeah.
we down the road from each other. So
Small town girls. Yes.
girls, yes. So we have so much in common that you just can't even imagine, and
It
God is just
is.
God is taking these small town girls to do big town stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, definitely.
Definitely. Definitely. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the show. Like I have my show, you have your show. That's another thing. Like, look, we didn't make this up. It's here. It's happening. It's real.
It's real.
So
It's
your
real.
show is called Motivational Talk Dialogues Show,
Yeah.
where you highlight, spotlight entrepreneurs and authors to help them share their stories and things like that. And again, I was on there. Thank you for having me on your show. I had an amazing time. How did you start your show? And I'll give you a little background about how I started kicking it with KeKe. It was a blog first. And then
Okay.
during COVID, I turned it into a live show on IG. And January, I decided to turn it into a podcast. And that's who we are.
Okay. So, mine is on Facebook. Um, and what started it? I have a women's group called Motivational Talk,
Mm.
and God came to me and told me to reach out to three different women. Courtney Hunt, Marquita Young, and Kimberly Celestine. So we was doing ladies' night, and on 2 Thursdays out of the month, we would get on and we would talk about all kind of different topics. Um, just randomly talking about different stuff, health, self-care, all of the emotional things that were going on. And all of our lives started getting pulled by God in separate directions, but almost the same type of thing. So I was like, well, I don't want to stop motivating and inspiring. And of course, being an author coach, I said, I'm going to do my authors. So I started with only doing authors.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I started. I put my post out there, and a whole bunch of people reached out to me saying they wanted to be on the show. And I was like, okay, this might go somewhere. And then I was like, well, they got a lot of entrepreneurs that are not being seen or don't know how to be seen. So I added entrepreneurs on there as well. And I've been doing it almost a year and a half, I think. And
Nice.
all of my slots are always taken. Sometimes I'll ask people to be on the show because they don't know that they need to get their story out there. So I'll ask them
Right,
about
right.
it. Most of the time, it comes from people I don't even know. Um, I've talked to people all over the United States and didn't have a clue who they were until I talked to them before we got on the live.
Same.
So
The exact same.
definitely, I know that God is positioning me to do things all around the world, for entrepreneurs, for authors, just for women in general and young girls that just need to know that somebody's there for them. So
Right.
that's my direction that I want to go in and move in. Just motivating and inspiring people. That's what my heart is, and I
Right.
love it. I love
And
it.
I could tell, like when I was on your show, the energy was just infectious. Your smile was just inviting and warm, and it was a safe space. So keep doing that, man. Keep doing that, and your slots will always be filled.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Yours too. Cause
Listen, when I tell you that it happened so fast, how the slots fill up, and then people would record and be like, "Dang, I forgot that we did this because I had so many other people in front of them." And I try to keep it like, okay, in order. Like if I record with you, then your show got to come out before the other person's show. So yeah, and in season 2, I had booked up till season 5. People was just still hearing me. I don't care how long it takes. So, just let me know and I'll be on there because we was live and it was COVID. We didn't have nowhere to go. So they was just ready, waiting. I'll wait for you to let me know when it's my night. And I was doing it every Monday night on IG.
Oh, Jesus.
Yep, I was
Yeah,
doing it
that take
every
a
Monday night, and I did that for 6 seasons. Every Monday night, I was live on there, with the exception of maybe a holiday or I wasn't feeling well or somebody canceled or whatever, which wasn't very often. But I love it. I started off like I'm a big introvert, so now I'm like I'm becoming
extrovert.
extrovert.
I say
Although
I'm
I
a
don't want to fully admit that.
I say I'm an extrovert
There you
because
go.
I can do both.
Right. Right. But I love it. I love how can people become a guest on your show though? You may have a listener that's ready to tell their story. How can they contact you? How can they sign up to be a guest?
Well, they can become a guest by sending an email to motivational talk dialogue at gmail.com. They can also hit me up in my DM on Facebook or Instagram, and it's Lacole Smith. And you can also do it on my website. You can book on my website as well, which is
Okay.
lacolesmith.com.
Right. And I will have all of this information in the show notes. So you guys will have it at the end of the show. Okay, so we're going to get into how you became a legend for this year's Legend Awards. Serving the community. Like, what would you tell listeners about the importance of giving back to the community that you live in or grew up in or whatever?
A lot of people feel like somebody else is doing it, so I don't need to. But when you have that mindset and when you have that heart, so many people go without because somebody else is thinking the same thing that you're thinking. So now nobody's getting anything.
Mm-hmm.
So myself and Tina Stewart, we started a nonprofit that's called Anointed Sisters United. And
Nice.
for Christmas and holidays, we would give out, food and toys for children, just in the areas that we knew of.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we started out. And then when I was working at Cato, uh, for Thanksgiving, I would put up a box, and I would have people, if you purchase $75 or $50 or more, you put your name in the box, and you can win the whole meal to cook for your family.
Oh,
So,
nice.
I definitely wanted to give back with those kind of things. Now I'm out of retail, but I still have that burning desire to help others, because you see so many people, homeless people, um, just children that are struggling. If you go into these schools and volunteer, and they need more volunteers than what they have,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of these children, the first day of school, their shoes are tore up, their clothes, you can tell they're hand me down. They need help. They need somebody that's gonna say, "Hey, I'm gonna take you under my wing and do something for you."
Mm-hmm.
So Anointed Sisters United also used to sponsor families, and what we would do is everybody in that family would get something from us. The mother, if there was a single mother, they got something for themselves that was just for them,
Mm-hmm.
because so many times they were just trying to scrap up stuff to make sure that the kids have it. They didn't think about themselves.
Right.
I also don't. We donate stuff to the battered women's shelter. Um, we donated things to a lot of the homeless shelters as well. So I've been in the community, but a lot of people ain't know that I was in the community, because behind the scenes, I like to be behind the scenes, but I guess even in being behind the scenes, people looking. So
Yeah. Oh, somebody is always looking. I tell people that all the time. You might not see them or hear them, but they are always watching.
and then I'm an Eastern Star, and Eastern Stars, we do a lot as well in the community. So that's another thing. I'm the founder of the chapter that I'm in, and it's built on unity, love, and community service. That's the
Okay.
foundation of that chapter that I started. So just excited about it. And so
Yeah.
my EU chapter number 17 members, they know who I am. But they call me Vicky. A lot of them don't call me Lacole, because my real name is Vicky.
Okay.
So a lot of them call me Vicky. Lacole is my middle name, and that's my author name. So
Nice. Nice. And see, you explained that before I even got a chance to ask. I was thank you. All right. So I thank you for giving back to the community. Keep doing that. We need that. I need to get more into doing that, because I always talk about it, but then something happens or I'm working and I can't do what I would want to do, because I've been asked by other people to partner up and do things, and it's just the timing wasn't right. So now that I am more aware of the importance of giving back to the community, I will be reaching out to yourself as well as other organizations to try and do what I need to do to give back to the community and let people know that they're not alone, because it's hard.
it is. It
It's
is.
hard.
We give to Toys for Tots. We'll go work with we went down to the River Center when they give out when they be feeding the homeless. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of different ways. You can even Google different ways that you can do things.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times it's just good to just put your foot out there and do it yourself, because that way it's done the way you
You wanted to do.
appreciate
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it.
Absolutely.
It'll
Yes,
go.
I listen, I would definitely be talking to you, because I need to help. I need some help organizing something that I want to do for
Okay.
this year, for sure. Before the end of the year, I want to do something. So we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk. That's another excuse for us to just vibe together.
Always, always.
Yes. So we're gonna talk about the color purple. Our
Ooh,
favorite colors. I know why I love purple. Why do you love the color purple?
well, honestly, I'm a June baby, and our stone
It's
is
purple.
is
Mm-hmm.
lavender. Is
Mm-hmm.
lavender. So believe it or not, at first I hated the fact that it was purple. When
Oh.
I did not like purple at all. I actually like red.
Mm.
Red was my favorite color. I had red everything.
Mm-hmm.
Red, red, red. I was crazy about red. And then I went to burgundy. And when I made 18, it was like I started seeing purple this and purple that, and I was like, that stone looking a whole lot better these days. So,
Yes.
and I would buy purple jewelry, but I never bought purple clothes,
See, that's how I
which is
was. People,
which
I
is
always
crazy.
tell people that I love purple, but they was like, you don't really wear a whole lot of purple. I don't own a lot of purple. Honestly, I still don't own a lot of purple. I just have a lot of purple like accessories or shoes or something like that. But it's funny that you say that you love the color red because you still got that red on. Yes. And see, red, like garnet is my birthstone because I'm a January baby. So that's
Okay.
just like more stuff, Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one of the things I like about purple. And it's funny because one of my twins, her middle name is Lacole,
Mm-hmm.
and she like purple. The
Nice.
other twin likes pink. So I say, okay,
Look
well,
at that.
that's the Lord just saying, hey, I know my
Nice.
purple legacy gonna lead on for me down
Yes,
there.
absolutely. 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 Okay, so when I throw out these words and these all represent the color purple, I want you to tell me what you think about it or the first thing that comes to mind when ask you these words.
Okay,
Right, so we know that purple symbolizes royalty.
of
So when you
course.
hear the word royalty, how would you describe it? Like, what does that mean to you?
Very elegant and top notch.
Okay, yeah, yes. Yes, elegant and top notch. I got it. Like, love it. Luxury.
um, Above all others.
Mm, don't play with her. Don't play with her. Okay. Power.
What it is,
Power.
power, um, a commitment to yourself.
Ooh. I like that. Wisdom.
Um, a godly knowledge of the things that you are able to accomplish.
Mm. Enlightenment.
You and I.
Ah, spirituality.
Ooh, that could go a lot of different ways. Um, Spirituality to me is that direct contact with God and your love and passion for the things that He can do for you and others.
Oh,
So that's
hey,
the biggest bulk of it for me.
I just I just got goosebumps again. All right. Creativity.
Stepping outside your box, getting outside your comfort zone, doing something that you would never do.
Love it. Individuality.
Being personable, uh, by yourself.
Mm. Solidarity.
Ooh, that could go a lot of different ways. But I guess, just being solid and um solidarity, just being who you are at all times. You know,
Mm.
not being able to be swayed, just being uniquely you.
I love that. And that brings me to the last word that represents the color purple. Nonconformity.
You. Okay, let's see. You got me with that one. Let's see. Let's
And
dig a little.
I would say to set apart. Know that you are not supposed to be like everybody else. Like set apart, unique, divine. Those would be my.
I want to go deep, deep, deep with that one, but so mine would be rebirth.
Listen, I don't have nothing else to say. Shit is just listen. These are words that represent the color purple, and I love these words because it just describes who we are, who we are.
Exactly.
And I wanted to just get your touch on what you thought about each one. And I'm like, okay, I need to do something with this color purple because we love it too much. We love it too much. And I've always loved purple. My mama was like, she got on my, I used to get on her nerves because I had a yellow blanket and I had a purple blanket. And either the yellow one had to be washed before she could take the purple one, or I would have to have either or. So I would cry all night. And they said that I was the cryingest baby ever. And I was like, I just don't believe that. And all my people say the same thing. Yes, you were. And I was
You
like,
were trying to
well,
get your point across. You couldn't talk. You was trying to get your point across. God was using you, and they weren't listening.
you get it. You get it.
That's all.
You get it. That's all it was.
That's all it was.
That's all it was. But Lacole, it has been a pleasure kicking it with you tonight. Thank you for coming to kick it with me again. Before we get out of here, I always ask this question on a personal note. What would your now self tell your younger self about something that we talked about during this episode today?
What would my younger self tell myself, or what would I
tell what would your now self tell your younger self?
I would tell myself, don't be afraid to be who you are and be genuine to not only yourself, but to others as well.
I love it. I love it. Again, you guys have been listening to another episode of Kicking It with KeKe, Life, Love, and All That Other Shit. I have been joined today by author, life coach, motivational speaker, wife, mom, all the things, right? Show host, all the things. I have been joined by Miss Lacole Smith today, and she has been a pleasure. Any parting words that you want to leave the listeners with tonight before we get off?
First, I want to say thank you for having me on your show.
Absolutely.
It has been an absolute pleasure. But I just want to continue to push yourself forward and stop looking back, because you don't want to become that pillar of salt. Keep pushing forward and accomplish the things that God has for you.
Absolutely. That being said, until next time, just love on yourself enough to know that you matter, you are relevant, and you are here for a reason. Make sure you love someone else in the process. Make sure that you love the things that you love and allow God to love you as well. Purple hugs, everybody, and I will be back next Thursday with a new episode of Kicking It with KeKe. Make sure you like, subscribe, tell friends so that they can tune in and go and look in the show notes and get all of Lacole's information and go support her. Go see if she's a good fit for a life coach. Go get her book. Wait on the next book. I'm gonna keep on her with that. I need to make sure that book come out because I'm anxious to hear those words, like for real. For real. But thank you guys for tuning in again. It has been a pleasure. Later.
All right. Good night.